Mr. President, I rise on a personal and collective privilege. Last Friday, I went home to my beloved city and province of Cagayan de Oro and Bukidnon, and I was greeted with complaints from residents and several businessmen, mostly MSMEs. This is about the ever-increasing electricity and power rates in northern Mindanao and many parts of the country. I actually have with me here a statement from the Oro Chamber on the high power rates that they released recently. One of their complaints, for example, in Cagayan de Oro, is that the electricity rates, for instance, from 10 pesos and 62 centavos in January of this year has increased, and I have the rate increase here. February, it increased from 10.62, it went to 10.77. On March, it went up to 11.82. On April, it was 12 pesos and 65 centavos. On May, it was 13 pesos and 98 centavos. On June, it was 13 pesos and 98 centavos. And July, it is now 14.19. This is industrial rates, Madam President. It increased from 10 pesos and 60 centavos on January, which is usually the average rate, to about 14 pesos on July. So that's almost an increase of how many percent? My dear minority floor leader is a mathematics genius, much better than me. That's almost 40%, no? Almost 40% increase. A little less than 40% increase in 6 months, Madam President. And many other areas in the country have also increased. To give an example, Bukidnon, a residential consumer paid 15.15 pesos per kilowatt hour of June. And in July, he pays 16 pesos and 56 centavos per kilowatt hour. That is a 1.41 peso increase, or a 9.3% increase in just a 1 month period, Madam President. To give you an idea, my dear colleagues, the residential power rates for the following electric cooperatives are also quite high. Though earlier, the one I mentioned earlier was Sepalco, that's a private company. But these are for electric cooperatives. And if you can look at the list, Buseco at 16 pesos at 31 centavos. This is in Bukidnon. Moresco in Misamis Oriental, where my dear minority floor leader and I come from, as well as being from northern Mindanao. It is 13.49. And in Moresco too, it's 16.90. In Laneco, it is 16.69 pesos per kilowatt hour. In Soleco, it is 19 pesos per kilowatt hour. In Leyeco, I believe this is in Region 8. Yung Leyeco is 18 pesos, 18.94 pesos. Meron pang Bileco at 18 pesos and 77 centavos. And the list is there, flashed on your screen, Madam President, my dear colleagues. This scenario is replicated, and I know Senator J.V. Estrada, Senator J.V. Ejercito approached me earlier and mentioned that was the complaint in Nueva Ecija. In San Jose, it was 18, from 9 pesos to 18 pesos per kilowatt hour. That is a 100% increase of electricity rates. Grabe po, Madam President. I, as a micro, small, and medium enterprise promoter and of course advocate, feel that so many of these industries are now suffering because of the high electricity rates. Admittedly, ang sabi po nila, nung kinausap po namin ibang electric cooperatives, and I want to put on record, hindi po lahat ay kasalanan nila. Kasi ang sabi po nila, ang generation charge nila ay napakataas. And when you break that down, and I know Senator Sherwin Gatchalian was here to listen, there is a breakdown, and we have the chairman of the Committee on Energy here, Senator Rafi Tulfo. There is a breakdown in your bill on the amounts that to be paid. Masyado daw mataas ang generation charge. Because, sabi daw nila, Mataas daw ang presyo ng crudo sa international market as well as the weakening of the peso with the US dollar and other foreign currencies. And based on the EPIRA, the Electric Power Industry Reform Act, these costs can be passed on to the consumers. The question is, all the cost will be passed on to the consumers? Paano naman yung mga malalaking kumpanya na napakaganda po ang inita nilang net profits in the end of the year? But there are other questions that beg for more answers, Madam President. First, were these increases in electricity rates a result of higher fuel costs and foreign exchange variance? Were they approved by the Energy Regulatory Commission? Because parang napakahirap naman paniwalaan dahil ang alam ko, pag meron po kayong adjustments sa electricity rates, supposedly, dumadaan yan sa butas ng karayom pagdating po sa Energy Regulatory Commission. Parang wala naman akong bilang isang MSME din, operator sa Mindanao, wala din po kaming notice sa mga hearings kung naganap ba ang mga hearings na ito. Dahil dapat naman siguro, Ma'am, Madam President, my dear colleagues, magkakaroon po dapat ng hearing ang mga consumers and stakeholders kung ganito kataas ang pag-increase ng electricity rates. Pangalawa, assuming that these rates were approved by the ERC, Energy Regulatory Commission, who audits these generating companies to make sure that they are declaring the right rate increases? For instance, a coal power plant in northern Mindanao, hindi ko na lang babanggitin dahil marami po doon, is charging an incremental currency exchange rate adjustment and passing it on to the consumers, Madam President. However, the sister company operates a coal mine within the country. So hindi po imported yung coal mine na yan. Kaya po ay local. So kung ang coal production ay local, how can we be assured that the coal that they are using is imported? Hence, the rate increases on forex and expensive coal that is being imported from other countries and not coming from the coal mine within the country. Isn't it about time that, or to have the shift as well, Madam Chair, and I know you'd like this because Madam President Pro Tem is a believer like me in renewable energy. Isn't it about time that we shift to renewable energy? No expensive fuel needed. We can use water resources, hydro, our air resources for wind turbines, and also sunlight, which is free for everyone to use. Third or fourth, Madam President, when does the wholesale electricity spot market or WESM operate in Mindanao? Matagal na po natin hinihingi po yan. Wala pa yatang WESM na umaandar sa Mindanao. And once it starts to operate in Mindanao, could it at least cushion or lessen the impact of the electricity rate increase as the distribution utilities have alternatives to buy electricity from cheaper sources? Give you an example, Madam President. We had just recently passed in 2 Congresses the More Power franchise. Initially, the power rates in Iloilo were the highest in the Visayas at 14 to 15 pesos per kilowatt hour. Now, I'm happy to announce it's less than 9 pesos per kilowatt hour, 8.75, if I'm not mistaken, per kilowatt hour. Because they rely on the WESM within Mindanao, Madam President. Hinahanap po nila pinakamurang contracted price for that month para yan din po ang maibibigay nilang kuryente sa kanilang mga consumers in these areas, lowering their rates. For example, a hydropower plant, if we had WESM, Ginoong Pangulo, a hydropower plant in northern Mindanao selling electricity for 6 pesos per kilowatt hour, much lower than the 10.26 pesos that is being bought from the coal-fired power plants. So, I know that the Mindanao grid is not yet connected to the Visayas and Luzon grids, but can a Mindanao-wide setup for WESM be instituted for the meantime, immediately? That way they can choose from these low-cost generation systems. Maganda pa para sa environment, di ba po, Madam President? Ito po ay perfect fight against climate change. We should move to that shift. Ginoong Pangulo, lugmok na po ang ating mga kababayan sa kahirapan na dulot sa COVID-19, crude or fuel price increase, inflation sa kawalan ng trabaho, at dumadagdag pa po ang electricity price increases lalo na sa rural areas. Mabuti pa nga ho ang nasa service areas ng Meralco. Kapag may di patas na rate increase or charges sa Meralco, agad-agad nagfa-file pong petition sa korte ng iba't ibang consumer groups and sinasang-ayunan ng korte ang electricity consumers and they put a stop and a hearing to these rate increases. Pero sa ating mga kababayan, katulad namin ni Senator Coco Pimentel, Senator Bongo, Bato de la Rosa, yung mga taga-probinsya dito, lahat po kami ay ngayon po ay talagang hirap na hirap sa napakataas nating rates. Pero kung ating mga kababayan naman ay tinatanggap na lamang po nila ang ipapataw na electricity rates and increases ng mga generating companies at distribution utilities. Hook, line, and sinker. Kung hindi ko nga ito napansin, dahil full disclosure, I'm also in industrial ice production. Kaya alam mo naman, isa sa pinakamalaking expense ng industrial ice is electricity. Or else you will just like me and Senator JV have the same business. We're both in industrial ice. Alam po namin, pag walang kuryente, bottling water na lang po tayo. Tubig na lang ibebenta natin kasi wala po tayong yelo. Nung napansin ko nga itong generation rates na ito, I beg to ask the question, what about the others? Micro, ano na kami, medium enterprise. Kawawa naman po yung mga small and micro.